Welcome back to the Fire Emblem 10 Ironman. In this base segment, we're just going to be bouncing around and moving stuff because we got tons of items, and we have Volug here, a wolf. As I said, the Lagoos have a meter. It has 30 points. It slowly drains or fast, depending on if you're a cat. Volug has a skill that in this part of the game doesn't make him like shift back ever, so he's always a wolf. It's called Wild Heart, but it works very differently after part 1. And in the shop we have Spirit Dust, which increases magic by 2, and an arm scroll, which can increase a weapon rank. And I was indecisive here. I was like, do I want more magic or do I want more weapon rank? And I think I saved that for like the longest time. Because yeah, Micaiah's already a C light, which she doesn't really need more at the moment. We're going to keep Beast Foe in the base for now because we don't need it. Plus, I don't think anyone can really equip it right now because points... yeah, everyone's quite limited on points until they promote, so... yeah. We're not using the Master Seal for a bit either, and generally... there's not really much to discuss in this base segment because we have pretty much everything we need. Although there is one thing we do need to bring up, and it is the whole knife-dagger situation. Knives are throw weapons, and you want Soth to have these. You can also, forge them for cheap, forge irons for cheap. You can just buy, basically, iron knives before you can buy iron knives. You can alter stats like making it way less, giving it more crit, give more hit, give more attack. Decide to go all Lord of the Rings, and I usually do this. I usually give Soth at least one knife throughout any run that I name Sting. No supports are going to grow that fast, and, well, generally, don't really have anything else to discuss for this base segment. So, let's get to the chapter itself. This is a defend map, except for the fact that we're not starting in the location we need to defend. There's also a little neat thing you can do once you have access to the prep menu, is you can actually rearrange your units, and you should do this to give yourself an advantageous position. Up here is the defend point, which is guarded by a level 14 general who has amazing stats, Torneo, Zyhark, who has really good stats for his level, and Jill, who has decent stats for her level but flies, so, good stuff. Zyhark and Torneo are promoted. They're also from the previous game. Volug here, yeah, he can pretty much just run up to anyone and be like, hey, gonna fight you. Bye. Wolves are so cool. But yeah, he doesn't get much experience at all from this. The main thing I like doing is I like taking the middle point with all my characters and just shooting from the higher area. I know some people who sweep around, they just go all the way up. Unfortunately, we can't double with our steel sword, or we would. May as well just use our handy-dandy wind edge. Give Nolan even more glory for the Horde. Nolan's probably my personal favorite unit of the Dawn Brigade, aside from Soth. Although Zyhark is my favorite character in Tellius in general. He just has a really cool, and sad backstory, so I know I've always liked Sword Masters. Occasionally I will try to defy the high ground, low ground thing, and it has mixed results. Also, thanks to these Myrmidons having such low HP, Micaiah can just nuke this guy. Isn't it great? Fanny comes in handy again. Also, you need to be wary of the bottom right, because they're going to start sweeping around to try to attack your starting position. Now, I've had Soth go down there before to handle it. Also, here's where fire magic comes into play against Lagoos. It's not us having it against them, it's them having it against us. Generally, these three guys can always survive, although I have had Jill die before in a previous run. It's kind of funny. I think that was about 4 years ago. That was the last time I played through this game, I believe. Torneo has literally no chance of dying. He one-shots people. And generally, they will keep their distance, like Jill using her hand axe or Zyark using vulneries when he needs to. Torneo will use javelins and stay in spot because, you know, he's guarding the point. He's literally choking that point like good old Doga. Wait a minute, could those people be people I know? Whoa. And that strength proc from last chapter really came in handy because Soth can two-shot people with bronze. It's pretty good. Only Nolan could double this guy. That would be nice. Why not? 54%. Oh, it worked. Miracles do happen. As I said, miracles do happen. It's funny because, like, Edward is so inconsistent even when he's doing well. Like, this chapter, like, after last chapter, he was doubling everything. Like, that was Lagoos and stuff. Now he's not doubling very well at all. I believe next chapter he'll start doubling again, like, pretty easily. Leonardo misses! He truly is the Raditz of our team. Now, desert, the terrain, only Lagoos, mages, and flyers can really go over it very well. Everyone else kind of trudges through it. So Laura counts as a mage. I think Soren actually explained this in a base conversation in FE9, like that mages can like cast stuff to push sand out of the way, or they can like see the sweet spots through like the desert or something. It's something regarding that. More rare footage of Meg actually doing something. As in she held the ground that she needed to. Wow, he actually went after the weapon triangle. Rare footage of enemies being smart. Zyhark has a skill called Adept, which can activate, like, I think it's based off skill percentage, that, he basically gets another attack. So you can have, like, 3 or 4 attacks. He tends to proc it a lot, especially when I play. Enemies will come down from various spots, like the top left. See, now that we actually have this spot under our control, we can now just start raining hell down on everyone. Nolan had a 73% chance to hit that sword guy, and he still missed. How dare you? Okay, Meg, get out of there. You've done your job. You held the line. That job will become more literal as time goes on. And while Soth and Micaiah have an A support already, you can still do converse, and they do have, I think, unique dialogue, because they do, you know, relate. That's the other thing people really dislike about this support system, is that most of the supports feel very generic, and to their credit, they are. It's just generally, But from a gameplay standpoint, is really cool because of all the affinities every character has have different support like values, so it's kind of cool to mix and match. It's also cool just to put two of your favorite characters together and just do like awesome stuff. Get up there, Leonardo. You can't do anything. Although you probably could, but we got this handled. And see, Laura has perfect access through the desert because magic. You can't hurt Meg. Enemies will run away if they have low HP. That's something in this game that I think is actually a little unique to them, because other enemies will just run for their lives. And this is where the curb stop begins, because once you get this central platform, they can't touch you. You just rain down destruction on them every turn. Like, heck, Edward can get the boss kill pretty easily, too. That's saying something at this point in the game. Aside from, you know, the Chapter 1 boss, or prologue boss. And Soth can just murder their entire team. Oh, that was a mistake. You silly little priest. Now if Edward gets a strength proc here, he can hit the boss and kill him. Fingers crossed, huh? He got it. Also got res, which is kind of nice, although we're not in any danger of being hit by these guys anymore. So, that's a thing. Volug has a innate skill called Howl, which when somebody throws or shoots at him from a distance and they hit him, he can stun them. And now Ileana, yeah, time for you to get up. Almost shoved Leonardo. Poor Leonardo da Vinci. He was an average archer, but he was a brilliant artist. Now we can have Aaron rain down some destruction, although, you know, even with their 30 to 20 hit rates, I don't trust it. Sometimes. I blame Fates, because for some reason that game likes being wonky with its hit rates. Oh well. And after a good level, we get, of course, a bad level. Yeah, priest, that was a bad idea. Soth must be having some deja vu with some priests because of that one map in FE9, although didn't kill any on that one. Or you shouldn't have if you're not a complete monster. Did I just say that? Huh. Although it's funny if you have Tanith summon reinforcements on that map. But anyways, enough about FE9. Now you can have Aaron get some throws. They all like going for Edward. It's kind of nice because he needs to catch up a little bit to Nolan. This soldier's really brave. He ran into the thick of it with Torneo, Jill, Zyark, and Volug just standing there. Make your time. You will be honored as a very brave opponent. Now Volug, since he has around, 49 HP or so, he can take quite a few hits. The only thing we should worry about is that fire guy. Which is why we're going to eat him first. And of course he hits. But no one else can do 18 per hit to him. Something weird with Laguz in this game is their weapons rank up, their claws or fangs or whatever. It's pretty interesting, and it highly increases their power. Like, ridiculously so. Like, they get benefits each time they rank up. I forget if you can actually use arm scrolls on that, and I don't think I checked. Enemies paralyzed by Howl will only be paralyzed for a turn. You better capitalize. It's not a very reliable thing, but it's kinda nice. And it's innate, so it doesn't cost any points. Jill doing some nice hit and runs here. We're on our final turn, and yeah, a pretty uneventful map. I still like the setup. It's probably the easiest Dawn Brigade map aside from, prologue. I'd say anyways. Comment below if you disagree, or agree even, because I like hearing people's opinions, especially when it comes to Fire Emblem maps. Because I notice I tend to not share many opinions on Fire Emblem maps. We should have just charged down. It didn't really matter that much. Vola gets as much experience from dodging things as he does hitting things. If only we had one more turn, we could have cleared that all out. But anyways, that was Chapter 5. Hope to see you next time when we reach Chapter 6. Until then...